Hello, StarCraft fans! This is Falcon Paladin coming to you with yet another StarCraft Remastered Brood War upload! Today we've got a game between Jaedong and Hiya here on Circuit Breakers. In the bottom right-hand corner of the map, it is the yellow Zerg player. His name is Jaedong! And in the top left-hand corner of the map, it is his opponent, the green Terran player, Hiya. Woohoo! Alright, so Hiya is another Korean Terran player from the Brood War days. He's got several top 3 finishes in major StarCraft Brood War tournaments, most recently in 2015. His best matchup is apparently TVP, which does not bode very well for this replay. And apparently, according to Liquipedia, during his prime, he was able to defeat every one of the 6 dragons he faced except for Bisu. So 6 dragons being the 6 best Protoss players in the Brood War times. His nickname among Team Liquid fans is Magikarp for his distinctive appearance, apparently looking like a Magikarp, I suppose. But here's our guy. So very, very good Terran player. Again, this replay came from BWReplays.com. Should be an excellent one, as it was screened by my Brood War screener, Soul Great. Let's see exactly how this is going to work out between these two guys. This is Circuit Breakers. It is the old Space Station tile set, which I'm a big fan of. Just takes me back. I don't know why I remember playing levels that were on space more than any other type of a tile set, but it is what it is. And it just takes me back to those days when the Brood War was the newest and hottest thing out there. And I was playing with my friends, and we just beat each other all the time. It was great. It was very even, because we'd all started at exactly the same time, bought it the day it came out. And Archons were still incredible to me. What do we got going on here? It looks like, okay, so very quick supply depot. Well, obviously, supply depot first. Into what looks like an expansion based on that mineral count, and it is. Going for that command center just south. It is natural without anything else on the map yet. So it is a command center first out of our Terran player. Meanwhile, Jaedong, who honestly kind of needs no introduction. He is probably the best Zerg player of Brood War in the history of Brood War, if not, I mean, possibly the best player ever, really. So we'll see. We'll see how he performs today. That's what's great about StarCraft, is you don't know who's going to win. You don't know who's going to win at any point in time, no matter who it is, no matter who's matched up against who. The worst player can get lucky and take a game off somebody who is way better than they are, and that's just how it is. What do we got moving in? It is a drone. Does scout the timing on this and says that's a command center first. That timing's amazing. Got to do some harassment here. Forcing the SCV to pull off to try to defend himself against another SCV comes down, and that's pretty much the good response from Hiya here, is bringing yet another SCV down to fight against the super annoying drone, because otherwise all your stuff's going to get paused is the issue here. Working on 2 additional barracks is our Terran player, and again, this harassment just reminds me of somebody like Showtime in StarCraft 2 with their probe harassment. It's really annoying, really messes up your opponent. If you have a lot of spare APM in the early stages of the game, that's where it's going to have to go, is towards this probe harassment and basically effective scouting here. So he sees the early expansion. His expansion is done as well. Jaedong's has got a couple lings out. They are chasing this scouting SCV. What is that, a macro hatch? Where are we, thing? That is a macro hatch. Huh. Jaedong decides it's time to go macro hatch against his opponent. Can we swap that? No, we can't. We can't swap top and bottom there, unfortunately, like we can in the StarCraft 2 interface, but this is still good. This is still a very good StarCraft Brood War interface that we've been given for the remastered kind of a thing anyway. In production, looks like we have, I guess the production tab will help with that. A lot more drones coming up. He recognizes with the command center first play out of Hiya, he doesn't have to worry about any too early pressure. And there's no way these 2 Marines are going to move out across the map at this point in time. Maybe the 4. Maybe the 4 will think about it, but likely not. 2 more Marines on the way, plus 1 infantry weapons. Hiya will likely try to time any kind of attack where he has that plus 1 already done. Getting metabolic boost is Jaedong for his speedlings. Also working on some overlords and drones, and just generally macroing up. 1 ling heading across the map to try to see, is there an enemy ready to come and destroy me? And the answer is no, there's not. He's ready though. If anybody pushes out past these little bridges on floating here in space, that Zergling will be ready, be able to notify the rest of the swarm as to what is going on. It's going to be a Spire. Are we 2-base? It is going to be a 2-base Spire. All right, I was going to say the 3rd base seems a little bit late here from Jaedong, considering what he's been seeing, but he's got that double gas going And he's got a spire coming up. Where the heck is it, though? Ah, right here, next to his macro hatch. Not in a place that's likely to get scanned. You'll notice by Hiya. Not in a place where a scan at the main or the natural would actually reveal it. So I like this very much. And a bunch of speedlings coming out across the map here. I don't know, man. This is pretty good positioning out of our Terran player. He's got his Marines. He's got a supply depot to wall off a little bit, so the links have to funnel through here or funnel around this long way. And neither of these options are very good for our friendly Zerg. And here they come anyway, though. I'll think about going in, but then recognize there's a lot of Marines on the field and a couple medics, too. So, yes, absolutely not interested in attacking into there. Man, they look very similar. The medics and the Marines do, don't they? Going to be kind of hard to tell them apart. They should be maybe a whiter white, I feel like, is their suits. It's kind of an off-white that kind of blends in with the green a little bit, as, again, Hiya is sporting the color green. Stim is being researched by Hiya, too. And these lings are just here to make Hiya think twice about moving out. If I move out, those lings are going to run in, is what he's thinking to himself. I either have to have enough units to defend or possibly a couple bunkers, maybe a tank or two, although there is really no sign of a factory at all. Was this an all-in out of Hiya? Possibly a 2-base all-in, but he is going ahead and constructing that bunker that I mentioned just recently here. Mutas production, yeah, 9 mutas on the way from Jaedong. That's 6 minutes. That's just, try to do that in Brood War sometime, you guys. Zerg players, try to get 9 mutas out in under 7 minutes, and let me know how it goes. Because, I mean, Hiya's not expecting it. He has, oh, never mind, he has a couple missile turrets. He's all right. He's got missile turrets in different places here. Not really one protecting this main mineral line. The mutas could technically just fly directly in there, but I guess the Marines popping out of these barracks will cause problems. Either way, can't engage. Cannot engage with these Marines. The mutas might be able to pick off 1 or 2 of the Marines at the periphery. If you're on the edge, you might not find yourself focused down and killed, but they're not getting rid of this whole group by any stretch. Yeah, I mean, so much damage coming at range from these guys, especially considering they do have the +1 and the stim, and it's done. Yeah, 1 Marine dies, but a lot of damage going down on these mutas, too. As we can see, several of them are already injured. Another, one more, 2 more Marines go down, but it's just so APM intensive to do this, constantly flying back, and if you screw up at all, you're going to fly over these Marines and absolutely die. Zergling's joining the party, though. He's going to try to go for a Ling muta attack. I don't think it's enough. Again, these Marines with the upgrades are just fantastic at this stage of the game. And picking off stragglers. A couple more Marines do go down. It's just slow and steady right now for Jaedong. He knows he can't really engage up here. The missile turrets are present. Got some more Marines joining down, too. He's trying to slow this army down so they can't just A-move into his front here. He does. This is 1 sunken colony is going to finish here. 1's already done. The Lings, the Mutas, and I don't know about this. This is looking pretty scary for the Jaedong. Both of the sunken colonies are going to die. Lings coming from the backside here, too. Are there enough? And how many Mutas are in this flock still? I can't even really tell, but oh, 2 Lurkers. 2 Lurkers do manage to show up here and help. And that's it. The attack is held by Jaedong. Excellent job for sure. But this 3rd base, which he is making up north here, or did make while I was not paying attention, is under direct fire from a bunch more Marines. They don't have medevac support, but they're trying to take this thing down first before the mutas can respond to it. And wow, that's so fast. Goodbye. Goodbye, 3rd base. And then standing in and actually fighting this. Wow, just losing a ton of mutas there. Uncharacteristically, a little bit sloppy there from the Jaedong. Just lost those mutas for effectively nothing. That is why you have to be so careful with them. More Lings trying to roll on up and deal with this. Lurker trying to burrow, not happening. Lings trying to distract, and they do distract, but only 2 Marines end up getting killed by the Lurker. I don't think that was really cost efficient at all for the Jaedong. He's still stuck on 2 bases. It's 47 to 64 total supply. Terran player is up. His cost effectiveness with that attack was through the roof. Didn't do a whole lot here at the natural base of Jaedong. Ended up killing a couple sunken colonies and maybe a few Lings, but otherwise, Alright, so the muta's done. I think the mutas are probably done for Jaedong. He is working on a Defiler mound, getting a Nidus Canal, be able to throw defense up at that 3rd base at a moment's notice if he needs to, and then getting some Hydralisks. And this is it. There's going to be Hydra, Lurker, Dark Swarm off of that Defiler is pretty much the end game technology that you want against a Terran opponent, especially at this pro level. Ling's trying to see where are these Marines. Here they are! And they murdered several of us, but they got the intel. They knew where they were. I guess the Overlord probably scouting pretty well, too. Trying to head up to this 3rd base once again with these Marines. He's not... never mind. He does have 4 medics with him right now. How are the upgrades looking on these guys? Got the +1/+1, which is very, very nice. And how about our Lurker has no armor upgrades. Hydra has no armor upgrades. No upgrades at all for the Zerg player. Are there any in production? No, not that I can see here. Jaedong trying to do this with completely unupgraded stuff, which I guess makes sense. If he was tech switching, if you had that many mutas and he tried to upgrade them and then also trying to upgrade the Lurkers, it's just not going to work out. It's too much. You could probably start upgrades now, but having them at this point in the game doesn't make a whole ton of sense. Zergling's just hanging out, trying to see is there an attack incoming. Is there any sign of a third base at all? Any down here? The answer is no. Hiya still kind of sitting on 2 bases. He does have a single SCV primed as though he wants to go for a third base, but hasn't quite saved up the 400 minerals required to get there. Yeah, don't outstrip your coverage here. These medics doing a little bit too far out here in front by themselves. That's a good way to die. Got 3 tanks here, got a bunch of Marines. This is a pretty strong attack from Hiya. It's 96, 98 to 67 total supply. If he takes down this third base, that might be all she wrote for the Jaedong. Oh, he's going for a 4th base as well here. He's got 3 Lurkers defending it. But I guess what's really good against Lurkers is these tanks. Absolutely. Actually, the Marines splitting pretty well. Dark Swarm's up. Oh, he just barely got the Defilers out and the Dark Swarm, and that's going to be a huge problem. The Lurkers trying to burrow on up here, and they do, and the Dark Swarm goes down. Oh, Jaedong. Such precision on display here. Science vessels are out for Hiya. He's getting a Radiate, researching that one. Single medic tries to get out, and she does. Almost kind of sort of dead there, but that was massive. Massive timing on display here for Jaedong to save that 4th base, and Hiya is forced to retreat and pull on back home. He is constructing a 3rd base now. It is a mineral-only base. There is no gas there, which surprising that he didn't go for the one that does actually have a Vespene Geyser, but I suppose if you're going pretty heavy with the Marines, maybe you don't need as much gas. Ling's running around scouting, trying to see stuff, and actually might get a free tank here. Dude, don't lose the tank. Lost the tank. There's really no saving the tank there. That hurts. Also, Lurkers trying to make sure these guys never get out of here. And oh, the Lurker lives with like 1 hit point. Oh no, that hurts. That hurts immensely. Tank again. Another tank getting besieged here by these Lings. Trying to micro as best he can as Hiya, and he does manage to save his tank's life, but takes about 50% of his health off of it here. Hiya heading on down south, trying to see is there a 4th base here. There is not. But Jaedong's 4 bases are all up along this right side. Ling streaming in here, just getting absolutely killed for nothing on the Jaedong. Lurkers ready to rock. Are there any Defilers nearby? I don't see any. Surprisingly enough here, you got this. You got this. Where are the Defilers? I don't know. Why is he going home? No, 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 no. You need to push. You need to push there. I know it's easy to see in hindsight, but oh, man. He's deciding to actually go home here. He's killing more of these Lings. Jaedong is only down 90 to 115 total supply here. Another group of Marines heading on down south. I guess he's trying to protect this 4th base he's got coming on down this left side too. What is he doing? I guess he's trying to hold map control, but he didn't really want to attack those Lurkers, I suppose, which I get. I can't necessarily blame him for, but man, +2 Marines at this stage of the game. He's got himself some Science Vessels with a Radiate available, Defensive Matrix. Also something that could be tossed down here. EMPs on Defilers, not something you see a lot. There's, okay, there we go. Tossing down a Radiate on this Lurker to kill it. It will eventually kill it. And a Radiate on the Defiler, which is enough to one-shot it too. A Radiate actually kills any ground unit that Zerg has. Actually, any unit that Zerg has in 1 hit. Well, it's not exactly instantaneous like it's a 1-hit thing, but it's definitely 1 application of a Radiate is enough to kill it over time. There's really no saving it. Even Ultralisks will die to that one. Marines, medics, again, just kind of running around, not putting much pressure on Jaedong, which kind of seems like a death knell if you ask me. If you're Hiya here, you gotta put some pressure on these guys. Dark Swarm lasts forever. Absolutely forever. Look at how long this is here. Now it's done. It's done. As soon as I complained about how long it was. Trying to chase these guys down and get them. Lurker scurrying as fast as I can down south. Not going to happen. Not going to make it. And there's the Irradiate. There's the Irradiate. There's the Irradiate. Throw 3 Lurkers. Go down to the Irradiate. Ling's trying to come up this way. There are tanks. There are Marines at this location. Good splitting of his army by Hiya. Oh, got a defile on plague rather. Plague on top of these guys. It will bring you down to 1 hit point if you have enough hit points that to be the case. You gotta repair is what you gotta do. Irradiates down. Scourge trying to dig at one of the science vessels. Keeping the other ones alive. Good micro on display from the Hiya. Dark Swarm is up. Spore Crawlers one-shotting 3 science vessels. Bam, bam, bam. They were so low on HP it didn't even matter. Wow, that hurts immensely. Oh, and by the way, there's a million Zerglings up here at the third base of Hiya, too. A lot of SCVs are going to die here. Just no getting around that. All the Lings died, but I think Jaedong is okay with that. Jaedong can live with losing a few Zerglings at the third base at the expense of a million SCVs. Whoosh. Here we go. Lings, here we go. The Lurkers. There's the Dark Swarm. Get out. Get out of there. Look at that. There it is. There's that circle. Oh, no. Another plague on top of these guys. Oh, they're in so much trouble. Blah. Lurker just swiping with those spines away. Everybody dead. Jaedong still down 137 to 119 total supply. Jaedong is not interested in getting a huge army, which is kind of one of the differences between the StarCraft Brood War and the StarCraft 2 is giant armies, maybe not as big a deal here. Oh, this Defiler hanging out. They're hanging out underneath his own Dark Swarm. It does remove the effective attack range to 1. Can't you sneak these guys in and get... Ultra's on the way from Jaedong 2. I really don't know. Is there much of an answer here for Hiya? Perhaps. Perhaps there is. Oh, Defiler ends up getting killed. He was hiding under a swarm, but once that was gone, he was toast. Pretty much immediately. Jaedong probably going to try to threaten this 4th base at some point. There is a group of Marines here, but is it going to be enough versus 2 Lurkers and a bunch of Zerglings? Upgrades on these guys. +1 attack and +2 armor on the Zerglings. Hiya with another attack heading on up. Another base is here. Is that a drop that just got killed? I think that was a drop that just got killed. Yeah, Scourge taking down those dropships. Trying to kill a Defiler. Good job. Good pickup there by Hiya. And this little base in the middle along the right side is going to go down. Lings rolling on in here too. Tank splash against the Lurkers do shove them away here. So he takes down a hatch and he successfully defends an attack at this bottom left side too. I'm liking what we're seeing out of Hiya. Terran players rejoice. No upgrades on the mech whatsoever. Going to be more bio heavy with some mech support is the strategy here today. Taking a base. Thinking about taking a base up top. Thinking about it. He needs to find the southern base too of Jaedong's, although he doesn't actually know that it exists. As it turns out, here are the Ultralisks, your StarCraft Remastered Ultras. Kind of look like cauliflower heads from The Last of Us. Type of zombie that just kind of has this weird growth up there. They are fast though. They are so fast with that upgrade. Look at these guys go. Zoom, zoom, zoom. Seeing stuff in Remastered for the first time is kind of interesting. Kind of interesting. Meanwhile, what's up here? Some Ling drops? That stuff? Is that what's in there? Is it? Oh, it is. Ling and a Lurker drop. Just gets burned down. Hiya recognizing what's going on in time to save it. Floating a science vessel out. Or science facility out. Why? Don't understand the why here exactly, but making additional science vessels with the science facility. Small groups of Lurkers here. Big old drop attempted in this bottom left-hand corner, but there are absolutely Marines, absolutely missile turrets. Enough to shove that away, that's for sure. Oh, these Overlords are in trouble. They are in the trouble. They're going for it. They're going for it anyway, though. Irradiation on top of everything. The Ultra drops! It's the Ultra drops on top of everything! Dark Swarm being tossed down here, too. All the tanks are absolutely going to die. This 4th base is in a huge amount of trouble. Additional factories are down here. They're all getting absolutely murdered. Ultralisks are getting irradiated, but it takes time before they actually die. Meanwhile, another attack of Lings and Ultras in the middle of the map, kind of coming down to join the party here. This Ultra is just in hold position under that Dark Swarm. That's hilarious. More Ultras and Lings trying to come down from this right side. Is it going to be enough for Jaedong is the question of the day, and it looks like it is. Ultra on hold position eventually does end up dead here. Coming from both sides, another irradiate happening. More Dark Swarm. Get out of the Dark Swarm. You gotta get out of there. Oh, Plague tossed down, and it did hit his own Ultralisk. It is a friendly fire spell, so the Ultras are damaged but not dead by any stretch of the imagination. Plague actually killed that a little bit faster here. These poor medics healing each other until the very end when they end up dead. So lifting what is to lift here in this bottom left-hand corner, losing this base, losing this barracks here too. Got a small group of Marines and medics still here in this middle section on the right side. It's 176 to 151 total supply. Jaedong has decided he's going to take the lead after all. And another Plague Dark Swarm Ling combo. Just so good. Just so good. Out of the Jaedong. You can hear that consume going down to Filer. Sucking down the energy off of those Lings like he owns them, and it's kind of like he does. Science Vessel's going for one last-ditch effort here, I feel like. Scourge getting rid of one of the Science Vessels. Just takes two to get there, irradiating both of these Ultras. More Ultras getting irradiated here. All right, he's making some decisions. And Hiya losing, or basically taking out a bunch of Ultras here. I mean, we'll get there, is what I'm saying. It will take some time, but it'll definitely get there. Hiya deciding to head on down. The Ultras coming on in, rolling on in. These three are not irradiated at all. More Dark Swarm on top of it, too. Oh, my goodness gracious. So many dead Marines here. The Ultras are just absolutely crushing through right now. Only 2 kills and 1 kills. Who's getting all of the kills? It's not these guys, that's for sure. Army just getting absolutely obliterated here in the middle section of the map. 174 to 130 total supply. Heading on down from the top left side. Another group of Marines here with some medics. Hiya's macro's been pretty good today, if I had to characterize it in one way. Ultra dies, trying to take down the entire Terran army by himself. Ultras are good, but let's not pretend they're that good. Oh yes, I couldn't right-click. Let's learn. Let's learn from previous casts, Falcon. Another Ling attack here. Up in the top left-hand corner, this 4th base location. More Plagues going down on the Marines, and they're all absolutely going to die. Hiya heading up. Man, this is a good game. This is a good one. Another Plague Defiler does end up getting killed for it, though. Is that a fair trade? I don't actually know. Heading up to this 3rd and 4th base. Look at this Nidus Worm being used. Oh, the Nidus Canal, rather. Nidus Canal being used to great effect to defend this top left-hand corner here. More Dark Swarm is up. Irradiates on everybody. Ugh, killing Zerglings that are nearby, getting caught in that irradiation cloud. And Plagues everywhere. All right, so technically on 3 base is Hiya trying to make something happen here, but it's not working super well. Marines trying to stand in and fight against this Ultralisk guy who does happen to have 5 armor and 2 attack. And he's going to win it. He's going to win this battle for sure. Poor Marines, just doing their best. Ultra needs to come up here and start killing these SCVs. Ultra, go. Yeah, mush. Head up north. Another attack trying to come into this top right here. Again, more irradiate on these Ultralisks. A couple of them dying here to tanks. Oh, they got the +1 attack and pushing through. Oh, another Dark Swarm, and that's it. A good game out of Hiya. Hiya has left it, and Jaedong is victorious in 23 minutes and 29 seconds. Woo! Incredible TvZ there. So much Dark Swarm, so much Plague, so many Lurkers and Lings and Ultras and Marines and Science Vessels and Medics and Tanks, and just really amazing back and forth stuff here for sure. Jaedong's command of the Dark Swarm Defiler stuff is just, it's second to none. Just absolutely second to none. The way he's able to place them perfectly and keep his units inside the Dark Swarm, that's the thing. You set it down here, the Terran player retreats, and your Lings are stupid and follow them outside of the Dark Swarm and die. Not Jaedong's Lings. They stay put. Ultras staying put. Hydralisks staying in there too. And just basically taking the hits, taking the irradiates, recognizing, yeah, my Ultra's going to die, but that's okay. I'll use him while I can, or I'll just replace him with something else. It's not really a big deal. So, fantastic job. I think Hiya ended up killing 2 hatcheries, killing the one at the top right, and then killing one in this right side middle as well, but it wasn't enough. I mean, he basically wasn't able to touch Jaedong inside his main base or his natural at any point in the game, and once this 3rd and 4th base up at the top right did get established, once again, nothing much was able to happen. Also, the massive Ultra drop was a huge success in this bottom left-hand corner. Even with the missile turrets, even though Hiya was ready for it, Jaedong was able to find a tiny little window in which to attack into here. So let's go into our score screen and see what we've got here. I don't really care about numbers, I guess. Jaedong produced 673 units in 23 minutes of game time. That's a lot. Killed 302, lost 448. So definitely lost more than he killed. That's kind of how Zerg rolls. Just overwhelm and win through sheer attrition. APM well over 300 for both of these players. Resources here too, telling the tale. Just more gas, more minerals, more everything spent from Jaedong too, and that's going to help you a lot in these games. All right. So that's going to be it from me. This has been Falcon Paladin coming to you with yet another StarCraft Remastered Brood War upload. Go ahead and hit that like button. Hit that subscribe if you like what you saw and what you heard today. You can also catch me on Twitter, Facebook, and the Patreon, all at /Falcon Paladin. And until next time, as always, thank you so much for watching, and you take care of yourself.